Today I'm going to show you how to work with a Divi Builder in WordPress. So once you log into WordPress, you're going to end up here on the dashboard. And then I'm going to show you how to add a page, which is right here, Pages. Up here is Add New. And this is our new page. So right here where it says Add a Title, I'm going to call this My New Page. And then I'm going to want to use the Divi Builder. Now, if you just have a block of text and this is a super simple page, you can just type your text right in here and then preview and publish it. But if you use the Divi Builder, it gives you a lot more options. It gives you columns and rows, and it's easier to move things around. So I clicked on Use Divi Builder, and I have Build from Scratch, Choose a Pre-Made Layout, or Clone Existing Page. Clone existing page is just like it sounds. You can just duplicate a page that you already have and then type over the old stuff. Choose a pre-made layout. There's some pre-made layouts in Divi that's sometimes helpful. Or build from scratch, which is what we're going to do right now. So I click Build from Scratch. And this is my first section, and it's going to ask me how many columns I want. So I'm going to build this section with 4 columns. And you'll see the 4 little pluses here are the columns. So now in my first column, this first row here, I'm going to add a text module. These are all the different modules you can add. We're going to start super simple and just add a text module. And then my text can go here. Now over here, you're going to notice there's a text area and a visual area. The visual area gives you the WYSIWYG editor. It's a little bit more like Word, a little more what you're used to. You can highlight something, you can bold it, you can italicize it, make a bulleted list, left align it, center, right align it. This is where you can add a link, and then it gets into a little more complicating stuff like tabs and buttons and stuff through here. I personally like to work into the text side, which is here, just because I know the code, but you're probably not going to want to do that. But if you ever do need to see the code, you just go to text and it'll show you that's your italic code opening and closing. Everything has to have a closing tag, which is that little slash. So that's the bold tag around it, and that's the closing bold tag after it. And then that's how it looks visually. So when we want to save a text module, we click this little check mark. Now, if I want to name this text module, if I want to edit what I just did, this little gear, click on that, it opens it back up. This little admin label, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to call it my first text block. And then the little green check mark saves it. And then you'll see how it appeared there. Now if I want to duplicate this text block, there's this little duplicate module button. I click that and it brings it right here, so I can just click it, hold it, and drag it over here. So now I want to edit this one, block 2, and I can change the admin label to my second text block, and I can click save, and there it is. Now let's say I want to add a photo here. I click that. I go down to the text block again, put my cursor, and then I click Add Media. And then I select the file from my desktop. So I need to find a file to add. This is just our logo. I click Open. You'll see it's here. Good practice is to add what the logo is in your alt text and your title text. So I'm going to call it Off the Page Creations Logo. And I'm going to put it also in my title tag. Here's the alignment. I'm going to center it. And I'm going to leave it full size. And then select. And that put my logo in there, centered and full size. Now let's say I want to link that logo to something. I can just click on that link, on the image, click the little edit button, and then here I can put in the link that I want to link it to. So we would go link to custom URL, and then here we would type in what you want to link it to, which is just our website. And we want to open the link in a new tab. This is important if you want to have your website stay open once they close the other tab, the other website that they went to. And then you just hit update. And now that's a link. So we're going to click the save button. And then we're going to preview our page. It's always a good idea to preview your page first, just to make sure everything looks the way you want it to. And this is just the standard blank Divi screen. So that was my first text box. My text can go here. This is my second. My text can go here, block 2. And here's my clickable logo. When you click on it, it brings you to our website and a blank window. I close that and we're still open on our screen. So now that's the preview. So I want to go back to the page, either edit page or go back to the other window that's open. And now I could go in and add another module here. I'm going to add text. I'm going to call this my final text column is clickable. So I want to make this clickable. I just highlight everything, click the little chain. You can type your link in here, or I prefer to click this link options, because once you do that, then you can, whoops, it didn't take. Let's do that again. Once you do that, you can click open in a new window. So again, I'll put our website here. And then open in a new window. Make sure you check that if you want it to go somewhere else. If you want to link it to a page in your website, you can just click here, and you don't need to click open in a new tab. You just find your page you want here and then add link. And now it's clickable. And I can say last column with clickable text, just so I know what that is. And I hit that. And then I can preview it again. And there it is. There's my clickable text. So now I go back here. Everything looks good. I can save a draft, or I can publish it. Saving it as a draft just saves it in the system, so that way you can come back to it tomorrow and keep working on it. If you're ready to publish the page, you would go ahead and click publish. Now I'm going to add another row here, which is this little green. Notice the green goes with the green. So add row, and then I can add another column, and I'm just going to add a text module. I'm going to call it my heading, and here you can give it a big heading. Give it an admin label just to make it easier, and then click the check mark. I want this heading to go above this column, so I can take this, just click it and drag it above, and now my heading's above here. So if you hit preview, there's my heading, and there's my other rows below it. And these can move around. You just click and drag to wherever you want. If you want to duplicate it, you can just click the little duplicate button. Again, you can move it wherever you want. If you don't want to work with it anymore, you can click the little trash can. If you did a lot of formatting in these boxes and you want to save it, you can click this and save the module to a library. My test module, save it to the library. And then if I want to add this later, I can click it, add from library, grab my text module that I just made, and there it is. So it's pretty nice to be able to move things around and save things for future use if you want to. You can, when you save it to a library, you can make this a global item. So if I do my test module global and I click make a global item, save to library, this right here would be great for call to action where I say, you know, give us a call, here's our number, here's my email address. If I want it on every page, I can just add it, add from library, and add the green global one. Now if I change it here, if say my phone number changes or my email address, I want to use a different one, I go in here and I edit it, I change what I want to change, I save it, and it'll save on every single page. This green global module just means that it's going to be the same throughout the site everywhere you put it, which is really nice if it's, like I said, like a call to action. So I'm going to delete that, delete that. I'm going to publish my page. And then view the page. You can view it with this little button right up here. So there it is, very simple, but it gets you working with the Divi Builder a little bit, and then edit if you want to go back and edit it. So I'm going to add another row. And again, I'm going to go to the text box. And I'm going to say my colored block. So I would put whatever text I want in here. And I'm going to want to change the background color. So here's the background. And let's do it orange. And then I'm going to just give it a label so I know what it is. And I'm going to want to link this whole block to my website. So if you want the whole block clickable, you can put that right here in the module link URL, which is nice. And then I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to preview to see what that looks like. So there's the text, and there's the orange background. So we're going to go back. We're going to click on the settings. And we're going to go to the design mode where it says text. And there's a lot you can do here with the text size and color and alignment. So we're going to change the text color to black because that dark gray you can't really see it. And we're going to change the text size. We're going to make that a little bit bigger. And we'll give it a shadow. And we'll center it. So there's a lot you can do in this box. And then we're going to go down to spacing. And we're going to add 18 pixels of padding on the inside of that text box. Top, bottom, left, and right. And what that's going to do is add a little bit of spacing around the text so it doesn't crash into the box. And then we'll get fancy and add an animation style where we slide it in. And now I'm going to save that and preview the changes. So this is what it did look like. And there's the new one. So you see how it centered it, it made it black, it added spacing around it, and it had that cool little animation. So there's really quite a lot you can do. You just have to dig and play around. Change the background image. Instead of a color, you can add a gradient, which is here. Background image is here. Just click on that. Upload a file. I'll just find a funny photo here if I can find a JPEG. I'm going to grab this grunge background then you always want to give it an title and alt text. Just call it grunge background, and this so the screen readers can read it and you're more ADA compliant. I'm going to center it, full size, and upload. So now you'll see that grunge background there. I want it to cover the area, I want it to be centered, and I don't want it to repeat. Repeating it makes it look like a tile effect and it'll look a little funny. And then click the check mark, and then preview changes, and you'll see how that changed the color of the background. Now if I decide I want this full width instead of just 2 columns, that's easy enough to go in here, click on the column structure and change it from 2 to centered. Then I can update it, and it's now full width. And then if I refresh my window, there it is, full width. So one other thing I should point out is Yoast SEO. That helps with your SEO. So basically what you want to do, if SEO is important to you, and in most instances it is, you want to be found in the search engines, is you go down here to edit snippet, click that, then you want to highlight this whole section, and you want to put some keywords in here. So in my instance, I'm going to call this Divi Training off the page creations. And WordPress tutorial. And you'll see how it turned green. So I tried to get some keywords in my title and tell you what the page is about. Divi Training, this is me, off the page creations, this is a WordPress tutorial. Once this turns red, you have too much text here. So if I keep going and I type web design and hosting, you see how it turns red. So I'm like, oh, I've got too much text there. So we'll just leave it at that. And slug, you want to leave the same. That's the name of your page. You don't want to mess with that because then you'll have to relink stuff up. So you just want to change your title, which is very important, title tag. Get your keywords in there, what the page is about. And this meta description here is just it's basically fluff that people will read in Google, and you want people to read it and click on it and go to your page. So check out my tutorial about how to create a page and work with the Divi Builder. So as you can see, I've got a ways to go. You can put some more text in here until it turns green. Same idea. And then once you get done that, you just hit update. And that won't really appear anywhere in the page, but where you will see it, if you view the page, is up here in your tab of your browser window. So here it is, Divi Training, off the page creations. So if you hover over it, you can kind of see what's up there. WordPress tutorial, web design. So if you ever want to know what your other pages are, you can always go there and play with that and tweak them, make sure there's good keywords in there. And those are the main important parts to adding a page. Thanks.